Look, before we start to move anywhere, I definitely want to take a moment to have you break down what you were telling me in Newark about the Super Bowl we should have seen or were hoping to have seen. So we saw Kansas City versus San Francisco, but at one point there was a chance where we might have seen Detroit versus Baltimore. And I want you to break down for us, what you were saying to me that day about what that would have meant and how we might have been able to make use of that in the work that we're involved in.
Man, Baltimore versus Detroit again has all kinds of subplots. So it would have been the story of Lamar Jackson finally being able to win his title. Lamar Jackson, who has been bemoaned and has been dismissed and disrespected with those racist tropes of he's just an extra running back there. He's not a real quarterback. Being able to prove wrong in the way that your beloved, right? Because you are a Commanders fan, right? Doug Williams did.
And I was definitely when Doug was there. Absolutely.
Doug Williams did, right? Who wasn't a hybrid or running quarterback, who was a pocket passer and probably had the best, I think, performance that a quarterback has had in his Super Bowl. Detroit, who has never won a title. But more importantly, the cities of Baltimore and Detroit would have been put on the map. And they would have had the spotlight put on them. And there is no way that you can hide the dirtiness of Baltimore and Detroit and what has been done to those very black cities. And so while they would have made it like Eminem and whatever, what you're really looking at, right, are two very black cities. Some of the last few black cities that exist in this country who are facing intentional disinvestment, poverty, crime that happened from the neoliberal withdrawal of the factories that used to be in those cities, jobs that used to be in those cities, and left them in the conditions that they're in. And so what that Super Bowl would have looked like, man, it's like you have the eyes of the world, the biggest corporate show there is for the United States, the biggest. I mean, we are selling everything tonight. Everything is being sold to everybody. And there's no way that the stories of Baltimore, Black Baltimore, and Detroit was going to be ignored in that. And so we came close to putting that, like the contradiction of capitalism, that while you are selling everything and your mother literally in all languages and with SpongeBob and Patrick, here is the reality of capitalism. Here's what capitalism means for the majority of its people, and overwhelmingly the majority of its black people, upon who this capitalism and this country and this Super Bowl was made and built on from the beginning. As the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl instead, in an end zone that says Chiefs with the banner and racism above it, because why not? Because why not?
And they really are playing in our faces with stuff
playing
like
in
that.
Our faces.
That's ridiculous.
Because we let them. Playing in our faces because we let them. When are we getting in the fight? When is enough enough? How the hell are you going to have end racism and then Chiefs with all these, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Charlie and his family in the stands doing all kinds of chops and whoas.
Yo. Yeah. That would have been, I mean, because I was even trying to think, just as you said, you were thinking of what celebrity would they have dragged out to represent Baltimore if they had Eminem for Detroit? Who would you even get? I mean, it's almost impossible to mask the nightmare in that city. It doesn't. There's almost nothing. What popular would they? I don't know.
It would be a DJ playing Baltimore club mixes of Eminem songs.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be mad at. I'd be like, let's go. They probably borrow Uzi from Philly to come down and be like, let's get it popping. Which I wouldn't be mad at.
Michael Phelps. They had Michael Phelps. Eminem. That's it.
It'd be some local teenagers up there calling back stupid, stupid,
Stupid.
stupid.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, when you were breaking that down to me, I was like, yo, that would have been great. That would have been great. They would have had less more. They'd have dragged him out and been like have him doing some Super Bowl
man,
thing. Welcome to the state of Maryland. Welcome, Monique. Merlin.
The state of Maryland. Stupid.
No, but he doesn't say Maryland. He says Maryland.
Nah, you would have.
I know he says Maryland. I know he doesn't say Maryland unless they coached him up. They must have coached him up. I know when he says it, I know he doesn't say it with that. He says Maryland. Maryland.
Nah, even I know that. In Connecticut.
No, Wale is DC. Crazy, careful. And even DC, I just happened to be I was invited, when I was giving that talk at Bucknell, we were sitting around a table with the people that had invited me, and it was a sister from DC, and somebody mentioned Wale, and she went off. He ain't DC. This is that. Yep, there it is. PG County. Don't be. Maybe that was you. Was that you, sis? When you were Bucknell, it was the same argument. She was like, "Let me clarify the situation before anybody says anything else ridiculous." So no, it wouldn't have been Wale representing Baltimore. But the point is, I think what when you were saying that to me, I think there was still Baltimore was already losing the game. But there was my thumb. But it was very it was as hopeful as a moment I felt related to sports in a long time. Like that would have been dope.
Moment. The contradiction of cap. And I think for all of us, those of us who are, not just in revolutionary organizations, which folks should join revolutionary organizations, join revolutionary parties, but those of you who are read, those of you who watch BPM all the time, those of us who listen to all of Dr. Ball's videos. And I don't think Dr. Ball gets enough credit for the amount of educating and politicizing and correct lining that he has done for so many of us and for so many people on these YouTube streets is to start pointing out the contradictions that exist in this capitalism to your friends, to your family. Use these moments, use the game, use that simple question. That simple question that Dr. Ball just posed, man, what would that have been like if Baltimore and Detroit would have played? Yeah, we could talk about Lamar Jackson and Jerry Goff and all these folks, and rightfully so. But there's like the cities, what would that have looked like? What would that have meant? Why do you think that is the way, right? And just enter from that point. There's a lot of opportunities for teachable moments in here, and there's a lot of contradictions that we are seeing today. That are people, because what we're going to move into is election period, and they're going to be knocking on your doors. They're going to be canvassing. They're going to be throwing Trump in your face. They're going to be, all up in your face about this democracy and yada. Don't forget what you've seen. Don't forget what happened on Sunday, but don't forget what happened on Sunday, 2023, 2022, 2024. Capitalism ain't never been right for us. Capitalism ain't never did us good. Look how they play in our faces on the biggest stage, and think that we're going to ignore that because Beyonce comes out for Verizon and announces a whole new album.